everyone. Have a good and blessed day. So I am Rogeline Amatorio Tolero, second year student taking up Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, major in Agronomy. So for this video, I'm going to discuss my understanding about the intellectual revolutions in chapter 2. So the term intellectual revolutions refers to the pre-Socratic and Greek speculations and natures approximate in 600 to 400 BCE, and the second, which as those are the natural orders, sometimes known as the natural laws, and third, which as the humans have the ability to discover those rules in a class. So I go through these ideas in greater depth, and this chapter, how society transform science and technology. So the first revolution, which is the Copernican revolutions, that the inventions of telescope that allowed the people to take a peek in the outer space. But more importantly, it also integrates them to know what was actually out there.
Also, Copernican revolutions, the main aims to the bulk of was to expand and promote the holistic and system. He said that was the sun, not the earth, that was the center of our universe. Copernicus held truths and planets orbited the sun in a perfect circles like Aristotle and Ptolemy. But the fact he put the sun at the center of the evolutionary idea in the astronomy of the time.
So the second, which is the Renaissance revolutions, the talks that this theory emerged in the time when most of the populations believed and accepted the biblical version of the earth creations.
Darwin's revolutions views life as expressed as the origins of species in 1859 contrasted sharply and traditional beliefs.
So because of this conflict, the people was divided. Some believed that the theory explained the origin of life, but the religious and the faithful strongly refused it. So in the Darwinian revolution, still an acceptable term that represent the shape of in thinking brought about by evolution theory, as long as the shift is perceived or taking this over a long period of time. So the third revolution under intellectual revolutions, which is the Freudian revolution. So this revolution, it's now a psychoanalysis, is that the explained human behavior in this theory force explain that there are many conscious and factors that can influence behavior and emotions. In this theory, many believe that had no scientific basis as empirical or experimental data could support it. Because of his gap of structures thinking, Sigmund Freud has the ability able to satisfactorily and react to a task of that all descriptions were confronted with.
Sigmund Freud, he also argued that the personality is conduct of three conflicting elements, the ego, and the superego. Science hardened and browsed of the legitimacy of psychoanalysis is as a science since its concepts were more philosophical and supernatural. May believe that Freud's theory had no scientific basis as no empirical or experimental data could support it. Despite of criticism, Freud still continued to work to refining his theory and fact tried to explain how psychoanalysis can be clinical method and treating some mental disorders. So enough, people were able to understand the concept of psychoanalysis, which eventually resulted in classifying psychology and as a science.
So, these all the intellectual revolutions that through critical thinking evolutions in the creations of proper standards for fear and opportunity. The intellectual revolutions will revolutionize society. It is the constant process of development aimed at meeting societal and needs. The great brains working together and make the world or more peaceful and progressive place. So that's all. Thank you and God bless. Thanks for watching and keep safe all.